We all know the story from the Wall Street Journal last week was a little ridiculous, but Washington, D.C. knows it as well. Look at guys like Chris Cuomo and Mark Halperin and Frank Luntz. These are all guys who are saying this story is nonsense. Nobody believes it. All this does is help Donald Trump. They don't love Trump, but they're right here. No question about it.
I get that he's pissed off, okay? And he's not wrong. This Wall Street Journal piece is a hack job, okay? And he says he's suing Rupert Murdoch, who he, was his buddy. They have, Fox kind of made Trump, and he's suing the Journal. He's suing everybody. He says he didn't write the birthday letter that they're ascribing to him, to Epstein for his 50th birthday. I mean, it's so stupid, okay? The Epstein story is about abusing kids who didn't have the power or agency to do anything about it, that rich and powerful people may have known it was going on and they got away with it. That's the story, okay? It's not that Trump liked a scumbag, okay? Now, I get that in the media this is great because it's bad for Trump and he's going crazy and he's going to pump and move the story for the Wall Street Journal right now by saying it's fake and it's wrong, but it doesn't move the needle in the country. It's going to make you some money, Rupert. Great for you, just what you need. But this is why we can't get anywhere. The guy says, I didn't write the letter. The letter is meaningless. You put out the piece anyway, and there's no light on what really matters.
We're talking about Donald Trump. Attack the Pope, attack John McCain, Access Hollywood, etc. So although this story was built up in advance as something with new information, it certainly has new information. I'm not sure, even if somehow it's authenticated, I'm not sure that it's going to have any political impact on this particular president who has walked through a lot worse than this.
Well, it's sticking because it's salacious, because everyone has heard of Epstein, and they feel that they don't want anything to do with it. This is a bad guy, did bad things, and was never really held accountable for it. That said, your second story about what's going on in Washington is a much higher priority. When we ask the question, which do you care more about? The cuts and the accountability and what's happening in Washington, or this kind of salacious, scandalous information? They will turn to the scandal because it is attractive. It catches the eye and the imagination. But what do they care about? Immigration, prices, inflation, accountability, what Washington is doing. So I urge people, as they look at this, to understand and appreciate that this is one of the reasons why the public is so hostile to Washington. They want these people to do their jobs, to get it done, to stop talking and find a way to restore the quality of government and not spend all this time over things that don't have any impact whatsoever on people's day-to-day lives.
That's interesting. So what you're saying, it sounds like, is that, this is, people want to click on it. They want to read about it because it is kind of piques their interest. But when it comes to how they're going to vote or how their support, where it comes out, it sounds like what you're saying is they're more focused on who is delivering what they want and what they've been promised.
That's exactly the point. And I acknowledge that it will attract views, it'll attract eyes and attention. But it's part of why the public has said enough, all caps, exclamation point, enough. And that they expect these people who they are electing to focus, and this is advice to you all, to focus on the things that really matter to day-to-day lives. Are we safer? Are we more secure? Is life more affordable? Can we get the housing and health care that we need? The stuff that is happening day to day in Congress is a higher priority to a lot more people than this story, even though people will click on it.
And even though some supporters, especially that very loyal MAGA base, was promised transparency about it, and that they I think expected that. What do you think for that group?
For that group, they care more about inflation and affordability and what things cost than they do about what's happening with Trump and Epstein. They care more about immigration, whether the border is being secured, and whether there is peace and control of what's happening down there than they do about Epstein. And I want to be clear. I acknowledge that it will get you views. It'll get you ratings. What I say to you, as someone who's been studying the American dream, studying the American condition, this is one of the major reasons why so many Americans are so negative towards government, towards institutions, and towards the future, because they don't see that people are serious and focused on getting real things done for the American people.